We're all ready, sir. Understood. Warriors, it's time! Time to defeat Emperor Rudolph and bring this bloody war to an end! Now then, who will defend Sophia? We will defend her! Then charge! What is it, sir?
Hey folks, my name is Mings, and it's time for another episode of Gaiden Abridged. Last time we stumbled around in the Lost Woods for hours until we nearly went insane, but somehow managed to find a way out by sheer luck. I will say, after recently playing Zelda Ocarina of Time on this channel, there is no doubt that the game took some inspiration from Gaiden with this area. Both are called the Lost Woods, both are puzzles where you always have 4 exits, with one of them being the proper one and the other 3 leading you astray. The difference is that in Zelda there is actually a puzzle to figure out, as you pick the exit where you can hear the music the loudest. Whereas in Gaiden there is no puzzle, you just kinda have to figure it out. Anyway, you're not here to watch me make lame comparisons, you're here to watch me suffer, I think. And suffer I shall, because the next map is a very tricky one. In this map, Celica has to invade a fort filled with the worst crap Rigel can throw at her. Shamans, Cantors, Barons, and yes, Dread Fighters. A lot of Dread Fighters. And to spice things up, there's a bunch of witches waiting for us outside as well. Though, to be fair, the witches are not that hard to deal with, as Celica's army is basically filled with units capable of taking them down, such as Leon with his 5-range bow, and Paula and Katria with their insane resistance stats. Your magic users will have a tough time against them, so don't even bother. Just round them up with your physical units and you should be fine. The real trouble begins when we try to make our way into the fort itself. It's laid out in such a way that right from the get-go we have to force ourselves through a super thin choke point where the enemies can attack us from multiple directions. There is also an unseen element of danger to this map that might take you by surprise. The boss of this chapter actually had the ability to cast the spell Mega Quake, the super rare spell you might occasionally see Doma cast in the final chapter. It deals global damage to everyone on the map. However, in Gaiden, seeing Megaquake is super rare. The chances of it occurring are so minuscule that you might as well just ignore it. I noticed that Katria is within range of Jamil, the boss of this chapter, and I figure out that just on the occasion that he does intend to cast the Megaquake spell, I should try and take him out quickly, as that spell is kinda devastating when it goes off. And while I fail to kill him, there's honestly little reason to worry. As I said, even seeing the Mega Quake spell in Gaiden is super rare, and it will practically never happen, so you don't really need to. Oh, what the actual fuck? Really, Gaiden? Really, Gaiden? Are you serious right now? Of course you're serious right now. Gee, what? This really shouldn't happen. Man, I would kill for a Fortify spell right about now. Yeah, thanks Wizard, rub it in will you? Also, this witch performs the biggest brain warp I've ever seen in my life. Good job. Luckily, for some reason, it seems like the Megaquake didn't deal all that much damage. Apparently, the formula for the spell is quite convoluted in Gaiden, so here's how it works. It picks a random number between 0 and 20, then adds 10. Then it subtracts the target's luck divided by 2. That's the damage it deals. Yeah, I know, it's kinda dumb. It also always deals a minimum of 10 damage no matter what, but it can never kill targets, so you don't have to worry about Megaquake finishing off your guys like it does in Tree Houses.
Holy shit.
Invading the fort is proving to be a real chore. Not only are all the units in here very hard to kill, but the goddamn Cantor keeps spamming gargoyles every single turn like it's nobody's business. And due to the layout of this map, moving around in here is very tricky if you're not a flyer. Because the enemies are usually outside my reach, I have to resort to the very inaccurate thunder spells to deal with the enemy High Knights, which proves very tricky to do. Also, the door in this fort can be opened, but only if you're on the other side of it. And the problem is that this spot is occupied by the enemy Cantor, so unless you take him out, the only way to get to the enemies inside the fort is either to attack them from a distance, or to go all the way around, and yeah, fuck that. This map really invokes a prime feeling of claustrophobia, as my units are thinly weeded in between this goddamn fort's tiny walls, while being sitting ducks for the enemy's ranged units. And most of my casters are simply forced to spend each turn healing, since everyone is damaged from the Mega Quake. The High Knights are impossible to kill with physical attacks, and the Dread Fighters can only really be beaten in melee combat, which is a problem even for my busted Paula and Katria. Yeah, fuck this map. Outside the fort, Atlas has been doing battle against the big brain Warp Witch for the past few turns, with little success, since she likes taking cover behind the trees. But I insist on him getting the kill, and the juicy 100 experience points he gets makes it feel well worth it, as he earns his promotion to Paladin. Maybe there's some hope for you yet, Atlas. Finally, after what seems like hours, Katria takes out Jamil. May Doma's blessings. With Jamil down and the rest of the enemies gradually starting to fall one by one, I slowly and methodically clear out the rest of the fort until they're all gone. And somehow I beat this map with no casualties. Don't ask me how. Without missing a beat, we continue onwards to Doma's Bog. Oof, I know exactly what this map's gonna have a lot of. So in this chapter, you face off against one of the big baddies of Gaiden, well, at least on Celica's side. The Dark Shaman Judah, and he's all on his own with just a single Bigle? I'm just gonna call them eyes. These monsters have a ton of speed and defense, and are very tough to take down. Judah also looks quite imposing, but keep in mind that he's carrying a Draco shield, which boosts his defense and resistance by 13 points. You're not really supposed to kill him here, he leaves as soon as you destroy the initial eye that starts out close to one of your armies. But if you keep that eye alive, it can be done if you remember the guy from the Lost Woods. Yeah, the guy with the Vala curse. Judah can be attacked on turns 4, 8, 12, etc. Any other turn and your attack will be sealed. The problem, as you'll soon see, is that Judah summons a lot more of those eyes, and they will make it very hard for you to reach him. Still, I actually do believe I have a decent shot at killing him, and obtaining that Draco shield would be kinda sweet, so I try to go for it. After all, I got Paula and Katria who can one-round the eyes, and oh god, Celica just took 14 oh my god, they double her, Jesus Christ! Yeah, Celica, you no good after all. If only you could have asked Harkon to give you some better promotion gains rather than wishing for Alm to get stronger. You dumb idiot. Also, why does Myson show up when Celica dies? Isn't he over at Alm's side? It's kinda weird. It would make a lot more sense for Noma to be the game over guy. Anyway, take 2. Let's try this again. This time around I just take out the eye on turn 1, which causes Judah to sod off. Cute critter, eh? I think we have different definitions of cute Judah, but who knows what kind of sites he frequents online. He threatens to kill Alm if we don't go to the Tower of Doma, which is a threat that should be as effective as a thug from Verdane threatening to kill Sigurd in Fire Emblem 4. Go right ahead, Judah, I'd love to see you try. Anyway, he teleports away, making this probably the quickest clear in Gaiden history. Alright, it's time for the big finale of Celica's journey, the Tower of Doma. This was actually one of my least favorite parts of Echoes. I found the tower incredibly confusing and grindy. It was basically just a maze filled with random encounters, with very little rhyme or reason to it. And I expected this to be equally terrible, but as you will soon see, the Tower of Doma is actually really interesting in Gaiden. We start by approaching the entrance to the tower and are greeted by a pair of stat-boosting statues. We get the extremely difficult choice between luck and speed. I mean, come on guys, this isn't really a choice at all. Everyone knows Magic Avoid is crucial in Gaiden. Upon entering, we face our first encounter, and I don't even know what's going on here. Is this supposed to be some sort of balcony? We square off against 4 Dread Fighters, 2 Shamans, and a High Knight. Oh wait, 3 Dread Fighters. That's just Kamui, who for some reason decided to start out among the enemies. Almost fooled me there for a second. Day 32, they still think I'm one of them. They've yet to notice my brilliant disguise. For some reason, we're only allowed a handful of playable characters inside the tower, and I didn't really sort out my starting party before heading in, so I have to work with what I'm given. Anyway, not really much to say about this encounter. There are a few but really strong enemies that have to be dealt with one by one, and the Dread Fighters are, as usual, a massive pain in the butt. Even crits just seem to bounce straight off them. They also move a lot further than you may think, and Celica has to fight against one, and barely survives. Luckily, that is the only one in range, so oh no. Oh no, oh my god, not again. It's officially happened, guys. Celica has finally fallen off. While Alm continues to literally solo Rigel over on the left hand side, Celica now gets one-rounded by generic enemies. And I'll have you know, I kept the Angel Ring on her for a majority of Act 3 in an attempt to get her some better stats. Wait, it starts me all the way back here? Ugh, I gotta remember to save my game more often. Luckily, the encounter against Judah can be one-turned, so it's not really a huge deal. Back at the entrance, I get a chance to redo the stat shrines, and considering the shit I just witnessed inside the tower, it's painfully obvious who I'm gonna drop 3 points of speed on. Maybe, just maybe, this will make things a little easier for little Celica. I also arranged my party prior to entering this time, deciding to go with Celica, Jenny, Saber, Katria, Paula, and Leo inside the tower. With someone capable of sniping the wizards from range, this encounter is significantly easier, and with Paula, Katria, and Saber, who are all capable of going toe-to-toe with enemy dreadfighters, it becomes a much simpler cleanup job. I suppose all I have to do now is, oh no, please, not again, not again, not again, oh my god, never punished. Whew, thank god. Saber is ready for his promotion to Villager. Yes, the Villager loop was actually a thing in Gaiden, allowing Saber and the other Myrmidons to keep going through as many cycles as they want, essentially giving them infinite levels if you so wish, but I always thought that crap was kinda pointless. Anyway, taking down the Dreadfighters takes 1,000,000 years as per usual, and the High Knight, the enemy that's supposed to be the tankiest, gets wrecked by angel magic. After swapping some items around, we continue onwards to the second level of the tower. Here we find a solitary stat shrine, meaning there's no choice to be had between this or another. It just offers you 3 points of skill. Or at least that's what it wants you to think. You see, there is another statue here, it's just located on the next level. But hey, delaying gratification was never my strong suit. 2 points for Katria, 1 for Paula. I need these girls to land attacks, okay? For our second tower encounter, things are actually getting pretty complicated. 4 platforms, 3 of them containing zombie dragons, while Celica has to go up against the Bow Knight, though with the help of an ally, as even the game recognizes how much she sucks at this point. Jenny has little problems dealing with her zombie dragon with her angel magic, and Katria, well, you know how Katria works at this point. Saber straight up one-shots his zombie dragon with a critical hit from his dark sword, but over on Celica's platform, Paula actually struggles to deal with the Bow Knight, as it is the only thing in this encounter that isn't a monster. I'm seriously worrying that Celica's gonna get bonked once again, but luckily, thanks to the recent stat boosts and Excalibur's low weight, she is actually the one doubling this time. With Jenny finishing off her dragon and Paula taking care of the Bow Knight, this actually ends up being one of the easiest encounters in the tower. Continuing upwards to the third level of the tower, this is where I meet the second statue. At first, I don't really understand why it won't activate, thinking it to be another elaborate Gaiden troll, kinda like how the area reclaimed my Silverlands back in the Lost Woods. But then I remember that this is the second half of the stat boosting statue from the second level. While it's too late for me to go back, I looked it up on Serenus Forest just because I was curious, and what this statue would have given me turns out to be hit points. Skill is certainly not a very valuable stat, but I think it's leagues better than HP, especially considering how often attacks miss in this stupid game, so I don't really feel punished at all. Had it been power or speed, I might have considered going back, but anyway, let's continue upwards. The third encounter of the tower follows the same gimmick as the second one, except that instead of 4 platforms, there's now 3 corridors. At the end of each one is a zombie dragon, but Celica's corridor has an additional Bow Knight to deal with. This fight honestly seems like a complete joke. I can even keep Celica completely protected by putting her behind Paula, preventing the Bow Knight from darting past her. And it's not like Jenny or Saber is gonna struggle on their end, so... wait, what? What the actual hell? The zombie dragon can just fly into a different lane? That was not obvious with how this level was laying out. Oh, Jesus Christ. At least the zombie dragon doesn't double me, so I should be okay here. Wait, what's that music? Oh, no! What the fuck? No, Celica! I am really starting to develop a burning hatred for Gaiden Celica. I mean, I always thought Echo Celica was retarded, but at least she didn't suck as badly in combat. Alright, take 2. This time around I make sure to keep Celica far away from the middle lane and simply kill the dragons with my other units that don't die. Turns out this game is really easy if you just avoid having Celica see any combat. It's at this point where I decide to check out my Celica stats and realize that she hasn't gained a single point of defense at all since the start of the game. She has a 20% defense growth, which isn't high, albeit a lot better than a lot of other Gaiden characters. And I'm pretty sure I didn't cap her out before promoting her in Act 3, but still, this is absolutely ridiculous. She's gained 7 levels since her promotion, and she still has 4 points of defense. I haven't seen a unit get screwed over this hard in the stat department since Louise. No wonder Celica gets obliterated by everything. Hey, you sure you don't want any help? Oh no, that's fine, just help Bitch, your defense sucks. At least let me give you a stat boost. No, it's okay. Mila protects me. You fucking dumb cunt, you're gonna die. I swear to God, Celica, when you eventually get together with Alm on your wedding night, you are not going to survive the intercourse. Finally, we have reached the upper level of the Tower of Doma, and a final pair of stat-boosting statues stand before us, offering me an actually difficult choice for once: defense or power. Well, it would have been a difficult choice at any rate, but after all I've been through, I've come to the conclusion that my Celica needs all the help she can get. We finally meet the big bad summoner himself, the lead singer of Judas Priests, who tells us that Alm is trapped in Dragon Mountain, and if we want to save the poor zombie dragons from being completely exterminated, Celica needs to sacrifice herself to Doma for the path to open up. Interestingly enough, Celica doesn't actually say anything back to Judah in this scene. I think that following him is meant to be the player's way of consenting, so I actually tried to see if there's any way I can refuse by exiting the tower. Sadly, the entrance behind us is closed, so that's not really an option. I gotta say though, this is actually another example of something Gaiden handled a lot better than Echoes. By having the player physically make the choice to walk after Judah, even if it's not really a choice, it at least doesn't make Celica seem like a complete retard in this cutscene by suddenly deciding to trust a guy that looks like this. I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose she still goes along with Judah, but there's no scene where her allies are telling her to stop being an idiot, and Celica proceeding to act like an idiot anyway, so she just ends up looking a lot better in this scene. Anyway, we follow Judah into a dark pathway. Seems like there's a dungeon to the left of us, but I have a feeling someone with infinitely better base stats are gonna be handling that one. Let's go offer ourselves up to Lord Doma like the good sacrificial lambs we are. This place looks kinda familiar. Uh-oh. Oh, it's the final map, and we get a glimpse of the big bad himself, the slime monster incarnate. Well, at least Judah is happy to see us here, telling us that Lord Doma will feast upon our suffering. Ooh, so edgy. Well, I guess that's the end of Celica. Rest in peace. Or maybe not, because Alm's pathway just opened up, and the way to Rudolph is clear. Watch out, Rigel, Alm is going to decimate you and get his waifu back. Tune in next time in about 6 months or so for the grand showdown between Alm and the Emperor who's totally not related to him. It's gonna be awesome, guys. Thank you once again for watching this episode of Gaiden Abridged. I do apologize for the amount of time it takes to get each of these episodes out, but that's just how it be with heavily edited content. We are nearing the end though, probably just 1 or 2 more episodes away from the finale, and I'm very excited for it. As always, a like, comment, and a subscription really helps out a lot, and until next time, remember that Gaiden always did it first. Bye bye!